Hi, everybody. Welcome to this edition of NAAP News Now. My name's Elisa Tagg, and I am the Association Director with the National Association of Activity Professionals. I'm so excited to be again with you here this week with our special guest. We have with us today Paul Hawley from Collette Travel. Paul, how are you doing today?
Doing well. Thank you, Elisa. Thank you for having me.
I'm so excited to have you on board and to learn from you a little bit more about how Colette and the senior living industry can be working together. And I'm sure many of our viewers are familiar with Colette Travel and probably seen them on advertised on game shows and commercials and things of that nature. And I'm super excited to hear from you today to discuss a little bit further on you and Colette. So why don't we just start that right off? Tell us a little bit more about you and also about how Colette Travel works.
Absolutely. So, as Elisa said, I'm Paul Holly. I'm the marketing manager for groups and affinities at Collette. I've been with Collette 2 years, but almost 15 years in the travel industry, all with group travel. And group travel is such an exciting thing because it's not about one couple going off individually. It's really about community and building community. And um, as we go forward today, I'll really talk to you about how group travel helps senior living communities and the benefits of that. So that's a little bit about me. A secondary little bit of item about me is that my wife is a hospice nurse as well as teaches group fitness in senior living facilities. So I'm very familiar with activity professionals and what you guys do. So I'm excited to speaking with you today. And as far as Collette goes, we're a little bit older than I am. We've been around since 1918, so the company is going into its 106th season. We were started after World War I by Jack Collette, and now the Sullivan family has owned it for 3 generations. And it's really a phenomenal company to work for. So I came over after COVID, and part of the reason is how they treated people during COVID, and it's really at their roots. They offered anyone who was booked with them a full money back guarantee refund that requested one following COVID. So, and really it's their DNA. It's what they did after 9/11. Throughout the whole history of the company, it's just they always try to do what's right, and it's a reason that we've been around for so long.
I think it really goes to show, especially with an organization that's been in business as long as Colette has, and also to show, how important it is that the customer is super important. And I really value that. And I love how there's always a connection when we meet with these variety of people, that there's always a connection back to senior living, like you mentioned your wife, and how you have a connection into the senior living industry through your wife. And so you learned the lingo from her, so to speak, and you've learned how to understand what we all do and provide. And I think that is super cool that Colette has this opportunity for travel services for seniors living in long-term communities. And so let's talk a little bit more about that. How long has that been going on? And tell us a little bit more about how that works.
Sure. So we've been working with senior living communities for decades now. It is actually one of the largest affinity groups we work with. So when I talk about affinity groups, we work with church groups, we work with alumni associations and lifelong learning institutes. So there's several different affinities, but senior living communities is one of the top 3 largest that we work with, and specifically with the administration to help put senior living groups together and go on these trips. And kind of how that works, I guess the best way to talk about it is the perks, kind of the perks of working with us. Um, so we have BDMs, our business development managers around the country. We have the largest sales team in travel, over 50 reps, spread out across the 50 states, that are local for a reason, because they're there to help you every step of the way, from deciding what the best tour for your facility will be. They'll get down to the nitty gritty. What activity level is your facility? So to give you a little bit more background on Collette, our average age of our traveler is 69 years old. So we're right up living, senior living age group. And so no matter the activity level on our tours, it's meant for that age group. So a 1 is a very slow, leisurely pace, obviously, and then we go up to your very adventurous older group travelers can do a level 4 or 5. So they'll help you choose, based on your people, what the best activity level is, the price range, what the best fit is there, and really help you choose the best tour for your group. They'll help you get marketing materials. So we do all the marketing materials for you. We'll put together a web page where people can sign up, but also a paper brochure. As we know, most of your residents are probably more comfortable with paper, and they can even come out and do a presentation for you. So we make it very easy and seamless, the process. And then how it works is, after you choose your program, typically you're working, at least a year in advance is typically what we suggest. That way, that gives you time to put the tour together, people to make payments on it, to get everything in order. And some of the perks for the facility, it's a great revenue generating tool. And what I mean by that is, no matter the channel we go through, whether it's working with a travel agent, we pay them a commission, or if we're doing direct, a lot of times we are advertising and paying money for our advertising. And this is what we call the third channel. The group channel is working with you. So we do build in a revenue for the facility, as well as a free trip for every so many people you get, where someone from the staff, typically a lot of times it is an activity professional, will travel with the group. And you're looking at probably around $300 to $500 per person that will go back to the facility when they do a tour with us. A lot of the times you're using that to pay for other events and activities as an activity professional.
Yeah, I like that because it's like a fundraiser just all in itself at the same time as you're planning and preparing. And so I appreciate you sharing how it would be up to a year in advance that it's appropriate amount of time to book for travel. So if somebody, heaven forbid, books for travel and they pass away in between that time frame, how does Collette handle that? Do they have I'm sure there's a refund policy there as well.
Absolutely. So I'm glad you brought that up, Elisa. So I could talk a little bit about the perks for the traveler as well here.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
Number one perk, because we're talking about this age group, is our travel waiver. So it is unrivaled in the travel business. It's called the cancel for any reason travel waiver. And that literally means any reason up to the day before departure. So you're having a bad hair day 2 days before departure, you want to cancel your trip, it's covered. Obviously, death, illness, but we mean anything. If you're just not feeling good, don't feel like you can go on the trip, we give your full money back, with the exception of the cost of the waiver, which is around $250. So this is why we are the top chosen travel brand for this age group. I didn't mention when I was talking about Collette, we're seeing on Wheel of Fortune, we're seeing on the Hallmark channel. You kind of mentioned that, so we're well known. Your travelers will probably notice us, and now when you're watching Wheel of Fortune, you'll probably notice Collette every now and then. Some other great items to mention for the travelers is our product. We obviously tailor it for this age group. We have the best product. Basically, they're all very, what I would call curated. So this past week, I was up at headquarters. We had what's called Collab, where all of our buyers and product designers, which are in destination. So when we have somebody looking at hotels and looking at restaurants for us to eat at, they do that in destination, and every year we'll reevaluate. Not too many companies out there can say that, but a lot of times it's calling on the phone, hey, do you have a restaurant there? And just basing it off Google reviews, but we have people who actually go there and try it out and make sure it's fit for our customers. So our product is hands down the best. We have over 175 tours to all 7 continents. Although obviously we don't suggest all our products for all of the different groups. So we'll, like I said, our BDMs will definitely help you narrow that down. And the third thing I'll say, the benefit for your traveler is travel makes people young. It makes them feel young. It gives them something to look forward to. There's a reason that when you look at someone's bucket list, it's usually a lot of travel items, because I really think it gives hope to this age group. And I think that's big for the senior living facilities, and what you guys do as activity professionals.
Yeah, I love all those benefits. And I think it's, yes, because so many times we want to do it, then we have, something come up that we can't do it, or physical, for whatever physical or other reason it could be. And Collette has provided such an amazing service that, even me in my younger years, I'm getting closer to the aging I'm aging too, just like everybody else, right? That if I wanted to travel, I always feel like it's going to be the best opportunity is to utilize Collette when I want to do like travel for, experiences that are maybe even outside the country, which it can be challenging for people to leave the country and just do it on their own, independently. And so I think it's really awesome that this service is available for even those that are living in senior living communities. And I know you have a lot of clients in the independent living market, all over the United States. And I like to share this service with everyone so that we can, know that, hey, this is available, this is allowable. We have a great partner in Wowzitude. I don't know if you've heard of them, Paul, but they do. It is run by a former travel agent like yourself who provided travel during COVID, but virtually. And it's not like your normal like YouTube video. It's actually live and in person. They have their travel guides there at the locations that are communicating, in person, so to speak, via Zoom to their to the whatever facility has, organized that. And they go all over the place too. And so that's great for when, a person can't physically go somewhere. But I think it's even more exciting to have this service when you have residents that are able to travel, that are able to go out and do, and even having the different levels of, what you're providing there is the fact that even if they are wheelchair bound, or they have these other issues, maybe where they use a walker or a cane, you can accommodate that, and that the bus won't leave them, if they're still looking at an item or something like that, if they're on a tour, if they're on an actual tour like that, that they have the ability to register and apply for whatever their level of care is. And I think that is super exciting that there is that option there. And those are some great benefits that are available, to utilize through Collette. And so, so what does a community need to do to get signed up with you, or how does a community become part of Collette?
Sure. Let me go back. So we can't do wheelchair accessible
Okay.
unless it's going to be what we call a private tour, which we can do.
Okay.
But that is, basically when we're blocking off the bus just for your group.
Yeah.
And we can talk on an individual level on that one.
Perfect. Thank you.
But first, let me talk a little bit through what a Collette trip looks like. So when we're traveling, first of all, we'll come to the facility and pick the group up. We pick the group up at the facility, bring them to the airport. And from the time you arrive there, you get on your plane. When you arrive in destination, we have someone at the airport before you even get out of to your baggage planes that are there to help you every step of the way. And they don't leave you until you're back on that plane flying home to get picked up by our representative at the airport again. So it's very, handheld the whole way. When you're on tour, you have that tour manager as well as local guides to guide you through everything. So it's a really catered to and handheld experience. So I will say that.
Thank you for that clarification. But I also love the fact that it is handheld guided, because a lot of times we need that, especially as we get older. We get lost, we get a little confused, especially in airports. So I think it's great that you have the ability to provide that service as part of the package. Definitely. Yeah. Thank you.
All right. And then as far as getting in touch with Collette, like I said, I know activity professionals are very, very busy. We try to handle the bulk of it for you. So I'll just give you three quick ways. I'll give you my email address, pholly, it's PHOLLY at Collette.com.
Mm-hmm.
You can call me. My number is 813-580-0840, my direct line, or Collette.com/groups. There you'll see kind of a lot of the benefits I've talked about today, rehashed. We have some great videos you can check out to get a feel of the brand and the travel styles. I would start there, and you can also order one of our group guides that kind of tells you the process. It tells you how to get started. A lot of the perks will be in that group guide. So that is a great way to get started. That's Collette.com/groups.
Okay, awesome. I added those to the chat box so people can access them and be able to know how to become a part of the Collette community. And very cool. So, is there any other way that people could learn more? I love the fact that you have video opportunities. So if somebody just wanted to kind of check it out, they were kind of on the fence, how would you walk through somebody like that?
Yeah, I would definitely say go to that landing page would be where I would start. Has a lot of different click-through menus there where you can see everything from with how we handled the pandemic, giving everyone their full money back refunds to the marketing materials we provide. So it really has a great breakdown there. And then if you're still unsure of, there's a form there that says have an expert contact me. And that's when we'll get your local BDM to reach out to you, and they can schedule an in-person meeting with you, or at least reach out to you and kind of talk through any questions you would have.
Awesome. Very cool. Wowzitude is on, so they just said thanks for the shout out. So maybe we'll connect you and Susan. That'll be a good conversation for the two of you to have. So hi, Susan. Thanks for joining us, and appreciate that. Yeah, so really cool to be able to learn more. So there is a way to learn more without feeling like you have to go the step further of having somebody reach out to you, which I think a lot of times activity professionals, they just want to kind of get like a feel for it before they talk to, their corporations about it or their companies, and then they can, get the go ahead to move on to the next step, which I think is very helpful for a lot of activity professionals to feel like there's really no obligation to just to look to begin with, to start with, and then they can start the process of, yes, let's learn more. Let's have this opportunity to discuss it more with our clientele and get, maybe get a tour in the books. I think that is super, super cool and super exciting. And I love that. So, all right, Paul, we've reached the end of our time together. So do you have any final words of wisdom for us?
I would just say that just give it a try. I mean, there's no risk involved, so we don't require any kind of deposit from you to give it a try. There's no minimum group size. So say there's only 2 residents that want to go. Well, we still will have them with a group of our travelers. We'll still pick them up in a sedan and bring them to the airport and make sure they're handheld the whole way, and you'll still get the commission on those 2 travelers for it. So there's no risk. Reach out to us. We'd love to help you. It doesn't take much of your time, and it's really a great benefit for your facility. I know a lot of our senior living facilities that have been working with us for a long time, they use it in their marketing material that they have a travel program, and it's really a added bonus that they offer that.
I think it's a great bonus, and I think that is definitely the way that we need to have it, so that people don't feel like they're imprisoned in anything, that they do have the ability to enjoy and still live life to the fullest. That's what quality of life is all about. That's what engagement is all about. So thank you for this great time together with you, Paul, and I appreciate that. So if anybody wants more information, you can certainly email Paul. He's great to get a hold of. It's pholly, HOLLY at Collette.com. It's also in the chat box, and it will be added to our YouTube recording of this as we move on to that. All right. Well, everybody, thank you so much for joining us today. Thank you, Paul, for joining us today. We appreciate your insight and thoughts on Collette Travel, and we can learn more at Collette.com, or you can reach out to Paul personally, and we will have that information available for you. All right, everybody, thank you so much for your time again, and take care, and we will see you back here next time. Have a good one.
Bye.
Bye.